Wrestling has a very unique quality in that, number one, it's an individual sport. There's an imperfection to our sport that you have to embrace. Every day, it'll show you who you are. Because in wrestling, you have this bizarre life and death feeling. If you approach wrestling from that lens and you let the suffering mold you, now life can actually throw you a curveball. You will not be broken by it.
I grew up in Middleton, Indiana with my mom. Her and my dad were separated. My dad, Silas Allred, was a great athlete, had all kinds of natural talent. When I was young, he got recruited pretty heavily out of high school by the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals, and ended up squandering an opportunity by, getting in fights. Just couldn't keep it together off of the field. Ended up having to do some prison time, and during that prison time, we didn't really have a relationship. His last day in prison was when he really turned his life around. And after he got out, he had committed his life to God, became an evangelist, and decided, I'm going to do everything I can to be the best man that I can be.
The transformation that Eric went through is so rare. He just taught Silas, don't go down the path that I did. He was just so happy that his son found a passion, and he was going to do anything in his power to help him accomplish those dreams.
Slowly, I started wanting to spend more and more time with him and see him more and more, because my dad had the weights at his house and I wanted to lift more.
Get it up.
I'd come home and my dad would tell me, let's get a lift in for wrestling.
Nice. Good job.
I wanted those things for myself, but he wanted that for me too, because he was calling the greatness out of me. He saw it in me at times where I didn't see in myself.
That just tells you what type of person he is. To make that transformational change, not many people would do that.
The summer of 2019, I was like, hey Dad, let's go lift. And my dad was always like, wanted to work out with me, wanted to lift, and he just had no motivation. He was 6'3", like 280. I mean, he was a big, strong man. And that's when I kind of knew something was wrong. It was September 7th, 2019. My dad had all of us come into the living room, and he said, it's Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And I went, okay. It's terminal. He said, so this is what's gonna take my life. And everyone just starts sobbing. He never forgave himself. I think in a lot of ways he felt like he deserved to be going through what he was going through with ALS. And looking at him and knowing that he felt that way, that really ate at me, because all I saw was how good of a man that he was.
The progression of this ALS was just so insane. It was really upsetting because we had so much hope that he was going to be healed, and then he just wasn't.
It wasn't, he's here one day, he's gone the next. It was the process of really a year and a half of me losing my best friend in a lot of ways.
Silas' senior year, he was going for his second state title in a row. Indiana High School Athletic Association asked for a special permission to get Eric, his father, down on the floor, so when Silas came off the mat, they could have a moment of celebration. It was really emotional, just because I know how close they were. Eric was very clear that, hey, this, ALS is gonna take me in. I'm not gonna be here. Coach, you're gonna have to be his second dad. You're gonna have to be his dad moving forward. That's a big thing for another grown man to tell you, hey, you're gonna have to help Silas in life.
About a month after Jade and I got engaged, my dad got pneumonia and he got really sick. Hearing your dad tell you that they're ready to be done fighting, there's nothing that can compare to that. I just buried my head in his arm and didn't look up and just cried until I felt him take his last breath.
Silas is such a happy and confident person that I didn't think that that could ever even be taken away from him. But Silas pushed everybody that loved him away, even me, and at the time we were engaged, so it broke my heart because I'm like, I'm the person that you're supposed to be drawing near to. I thought maybe he was gonna wanna go back to wrestling because it would draw him closer to his dad, but instead, he didn't even wanna go to practice. He just told me, like, Jade, my dad and I built this together. We worked so hard to be here. I don't know if I can continue on.
He was 100% present, but not always 100% mentally there.
God slapped me with a truth bomb, but he was like, your dad could have been gone when you were 4 years old. And once I kind of felt that, gratitude, I quit trying to know why my dad had to go.
Silas's expectations for himself are like here. I think that his dad kind of fits into it just kind of as motivation. He kind of will talk to me after his meets and be like, man, I really wish my dad was there, or my dad would be really proud.
He's chasing something and his mind is strong. And he believes that he can attain great wrestling. So anything I ask him, I know internally the standard he has for himself is a little bit higher.
He expects himself to be on the podium. He expects himself to be a Big Ten champion.
He has him on his butt for the takedown. Huge takedown for Silas Allred.
I expect him to develop very quickly and give himself a chance to compete for a national title.
Wrestling helps you deal with discomfort. I had every excuse in the world to fall short, but I wanted to make all of those things that I went through be purposeful. It's a story of just gratitude because I got those years with my dad. I got to make that relationship. It's just such a motivator to be the best that I can be because that's what he deserves.